Roland-Garros Day 9, and time to find out who would make it to the last 8. And leading the way, the world number ones and a 10-time champion looking to break records, together with a 2-time finalist looking to create new memories while erasing the pain of the past. The home flag was still flying high at the start of the day, while a comeback of epic proportions was on the cards. It is week 2 of the second Grand Slam of the year, and the stakes have just got higher. Hello and welcome to Monday in Paris. The quarterfinals are one match away from being set. You're watching live at RG, and here for you a little bit of what's coming up on tonight's show. Serena Williams calls time on her Parisian adventure. Rafa Nadal gives himself the perfect belated birthday present. And it's a good day for the world number ones, with Simona Halep through to the quarterfinals. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please use the hashtag RG18 on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, and to watch the show every night from 7 p.m. local time, the official channels, Roland-Garros.com. We've got the YouTube and the Facebook platform, so please join us nightly on those. Very happy to say that alongside me in the studio once again this evening, Nick McCarville and Camille Pain. And Camille, we're going to start with some news that has just happened. This has just taken place over on court number 1. Garbiñe Muguruza went out, the 2016 champion, to start her match against Lesia Tsurenko. 2 games in, Camille, and it's all over. An injury for Tsurenko. She cannot continue after a medical timeout, and Muguruza is through. It's
such a crazy day, Gigi. Serena, just a couple of minutes before the match, should have played, just saying, okay, I'm injured, and now they're going to face each other, Muguruza and Serena, and she just played 2 games. So it's a crazy day.
But it's heartbreaking, Nick, for Tsurenko, a chance to reach the quarterfinals and had to withdraw through injury. Yeah, very heartbreaking. A strange situation today, a bizarre day, really. Obviously, disappointment for Tsurenko having an opportunity to be this deep in a Grand Slam. But to me, it levels the playing field a little bit because Muguruza barely played at all. Sharapova didn't play at all today, and they're going to face each other in the quarterfinals. They certainly are. So that is the news, and they are the pictures that are just coming through to us here live at RG, and we wish Lesia Tsurenko a speedy recovery. So Muguruza goes through to the quarterfinals. The big news from today was that this afternoon, at very short notice, Serena Williams, a 3-time champion here, called a press conference to confirm the news that was being whispered around the media room that she was withdrawing from the singles competition.
Unfortunately, been having some issues with my pec muscle, and unfortunately it's been getting worse to a point where right now I can't actually serve, so it's kind of hard to play when I can't physically serve. It didn't start before I got here. The first time I felt it was against Gergis in my last match. That's when I started to feel it, and I was like, oh my, it was really painful and I didn't know what it was. And so in my doubles yesterday, I tried a lot of different tapings, and I tried lots of different types of support to see how it would feel under match circumstance. And it didn't really get a lot better.
The first time in her career that Serena Williams has withdrawn from a Grand Slam singles competition, Camille.
Yeah, it's a situation that maybe she doesn't know. She didn't expect that. Nobody expected that because we didn't hear about anything, from her. She was feeling like fitter than what we thought after a couple of matches. But actually, I think the double didn't help. Maybe she wanted to try, but in the end, maybe she didn't, recover well. And it's sad because it was such a match against Sharapova. Maybe she didn't want to play without being 100% because she's a champion and she wanted to play against Sharapova with, all her body and fit, and as she couldn't, she preferred to maybe try another time.
Well, and she said that she wanted to try it out in a match scenario. The doubles gave her that yesterday, but I actually would wonder maybe it would have been better to pull out of that doubles match because they ended up losing in 3 sets to the Williams sisters, but you cannot erase history. She made that choice, and she said now it's time to get care from the doctors here in Paris. Perhaps she will be able to see what the future holds. And earlier today, she did practice for a bit on kind of the hidden courts of Roland-Garros. She tried to serve, that was confirmed, and she said she could barely get the ball over the net. And if she can't physically serve, she said, then there's no point trying to go out and play a Grand Slam match against Sharapova.
And following the press conference and the news from Serena Williams, we got reaction from Williams' coach, Patrick Mouratoglou.
When we warmed up this morning, she felt the same pain as yesterday. especially when serving. Like something really, really sharp, like so sharp that she can't even think about serving. So we came back to the medical center. We decided to make an exam to know exactly what it was. The exam showed that there was a muscle strain. You know, it's difficult because she's worked so hard at the academy in the last 5 weeks. Like, I've never seen her work that hard, honestly. Like, she gave everything she could. She was feeling that she was playing better and better. You know, she was in the second week of the Grand Slam, feeling her level steps to the next level. She's really competitive. She can win this one, and suddenly everything falls apart. It's really tough. I mean, c'est la vie. Let's do everything to get ready for Wimbledon and win this one.
And Serena Williams did say in her press conference that she'll be having an MRI here in Paris tomorrow and seeing as many specialists as possible to get the problem sorted out. And I mentioned at the top that the quarterfinals were one match away from being set. Eli Weinstein is keeping an eye on the final match. Two men fighting it out, Eli, for the final place.
Yeah, well, hi, thanks, Gigi. Yeah, we're here on Court Philippe Chatrier, where we have the evening light that we love so much, and Fabio Fognini right now trying to push this fourth set to a tiebreaker, and then obviously hoping to push it into a fifth. He loves his chances in the fifth set because Fabio Fognini is a great five-set player. He's won his last six, and that's it. We're at 6-6. Fabio Fognini, though, not playing at 100%. He's had the trainer on court twice in this match. On the other side, Marin Cilic looking to become only the 11th player in open-era history to make all 4 Grand Slams. So he has that in the back of his head, although somewhere along the way there's a guy called Rafa Nadal that he'll eventually probably have to play, and that may complicate things a little bit. Right now, the crowd is a little bit, it's half and half, but you feel like they want a fifth set. That's the most important thing. So we're going to watch this tiebreaker and see if Cilic wins, it's over. If not, we get a fifth set.
Eli is going nowhere. He's going to be based now on Philippe Chatrier to see what unfolds in that match. We can, though, run through a little bit of the action that's already taken place today. And it has been a really good day if you are world number one. For Rafa Nadal, he gave himself a nice belated birthday present, making it 37 consecutive completed sets here and extending his win-loss record at Roland-Garros to 83-2. He beat the debutant Maximilian Martyra comfortably in the end after being broken in the first game. And afterwards, speaking to us, he looked ahead to his quarter-final with Diego Schwartzman.
Been a positive victory for me, and happy to be in the quarterfinals again. No? It's a great news to be in the second week, and yeah, Diego is a great player, good friend too. We know each other very well. He's playing the best tennis of his career, so it will be a really tough match. No? But I need to be ready to play my best, and I am looking forward to play aggressive, and let's see. He's a tough opponent. Yeah.
He's a tough opponent, Camille, but Rafa Nadal looking very relaxed and very focused at the moment.
Yeah, I believe he's very focused because he knows Schwartzman is a great clay court player and he's fast, he loves this, and he's ready. But he had such a tough match against Anderson, and Rafa physically is above everybody on clay. So I think he's just, he knows he's dangerous, but he's pretty confident, and you can see it in this interview.
Yeah, well, he should be bursting with confidence. Rafael Nadal also bursting with confidence. Simona Halep, the world number one. She needed less than an hour today to get through Elise Mertens, a semifinalist at the Australian Open. But Simona Halep hits 16 winners, goes 8 for 10 at the net, and she's dropped just 14 games in the last 8 sets she's played. She feels like now the clear favorite here at this event. And next up, she gets Angelique Kerber. They're 5-5 head-to-head. They played that epic semi-final at the Australian Open earlier this year, but Simona 0-2 against Angelique on the clay. It'll be an interesting quarterfinal, and we also got the chance to catch up with Simona on her big win today in round 4.
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely was a great match, and I really was happy that I could play at that level against Mertens because it's never easy. But it was good that we played in Madrid. I had a good feeling of the match, and I just knew what I have to do, and I played well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you played very well. Simona, you dropped your first set of this tournament, but since then, 8 sets in a row. Is this as consistent of tennis as you've played recently? And you said today you played pretty well, but I think the whole tournament you've played great.
Yeah, I played well every match, but what is important is that every match I'm a little bit better on court. So I'm really happy with that performance. It's always nice to be back here in Roland-Garros, and here I feel that I can touch my best tennis level, and I started already to enjoy the time here, so which is good.
So the world number ones are doing well. They are both through to the quarterfinals. We have the final round of 16 match taking place behind us. It's a tiebreak with Marin Cilic and Fabio Fognini. We'll keep you posted on that. But this is the perfect time to round up the rest of the results from today on what has been a busy day. And it starts off with a match that was carried over from last night and featured 21-year-old Daria Kasatkina, who ousted the second seed Caroline Wozniacki. That match was stopped due to bad light last night at 3-all in the second. Kasatkina came out, won 3 games and booked her place in her first Roland-Garros quarter-final.
Big win for Daria Kasatkina. It was a little more complicated, actually a lot more complicated for Diego Schwartzman. Twice Kevin Anderson served for this match in the third set, and then in the fourth set, this match had 19 breaks of serve. Absolutely insane to see that number, but it's the first quarterfinal for the Argentinian here, his second at a Grand Slam, and his reward, he gets Rafael Nadal.
What a lovely reward that is. From one Argentinian to another, and Juan Martín del Potro, really good win for the 5th seed in just his second appearance here at the tournament since 2012. A semi-finalist in 2009. Look what it meant to beat the American John Isner in straight sets. Improves his record over the American to 7-4, and he will face the winner of the match behind us, Marin Cilic or Fabio Fognini.
And earlier on court, Suzanne Lenglen broken French hearts as Caroline Garcia, the final player remaining in the men's or women's singles event. She's out against Angelique Kerber. Garcia hitting 36 unforced errors, winning just 11 of 41 return points. And it's a first quarterfinal here for Angelique Kerber in 6 years, Camille.
Yeah, how disappointing it is for Caroline Garcia. She was playing so good. She's a member of top 10, but she didn't play today. A lot of mistakes. She couldn't express herself. That's what is disappointing for her. You can lose. There's no problem. Even in France, you have the right to lose. Yeah. But it's the way she lost, and she must be very frustrated, after the match. And in the end, she started to play a little bit more aggressive and a little bit free, But it was like 6-1 and 4-1, and she couldn't come back, actually. And that's the problem. We were expecting her to come back, and it never came.
So from seeing the highlights from today, the question that we're about to answer is, which match has Camille Pan picked for her match of the day?
What'd you pick today?
I picked the small guy against the tall guy.
That's so good.
I really enjoyed Diego Schwartzman match facing Kevin Anderson because he was down. It was really tough for the Argentinian. Kevin Anderson was playing so good. He was moving well, as we can see there. And Anderson was aggressive, defending, and he was up 2 sets a break, as you said before, Nick. And actually, this point is amazing because you can see such a rally. We thought that Anderson was good on 2 or 3 strokes, and you can see in this point, even in the rallies, he made an amazing job. Look at this passing shot. Amazing.
Insane.
Yeah, insane. And so he was good in every part of the game today. But what happened then is that he just couldn't finish the match, actually.
No.
He didn't play good when he had the chance to close it. And then Diego Schwartzman, he always fights a lot. And he was there trying to maybe change the pace a little bit of the ball to annoy the tall guy. And look at this lob. Yeah, amazing. And actually, the match, Nick, completely changed.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some call it this match catastrophic today for Kevin Anderson because it was a total meltdown. I mean, he served for the match in the third set. He served again for it in the fourth set. Didn't win a point in the fourth set tiebreak. And then Diego Schwartzman just really ran away with it in the fifth set. This is going to linger. It's going to sting a lot for Kevin Anderson. And it's a huge win for Diego Schwartzman. Very emotional after the victory.
Yeah, because he just fought a lot. He never gave up. And this is why it's the match of the day for me.
Yeah,
a good lesson of life.
Never give up.
Never give up.
People are drawn to Diego Schwartzman is because he knows every time he goes out on court, he's going to have to fight probably harder than anybody else. And he'll fight to the last.
Yeah, because he's not that tall. and so he always had to fight in his life, starting playing tennis. So for him, it's natural to be there on court and fight because he knows it's difficult. And in the end, he just wins a lot of matches against tall guys. So that's why tennis is interesting for me. That it's not a matter of size; it's just in the head and the skills you can have, even if you're small. He's so like fast on the legs, and he could be very aggressive. He's not just defending; he creates a lot of things in his tennis, and that's why he's playing great on clay.
Now, I'm wondering what might be going on in the head of Marin Cilic right now, because Fabio Fognini has closed out the tiebreak in the fourth set. It means, Camille, it is going the distance.
Yeah, Fognini is such a great player. He's a fighter as well, and he played very smart to come back in this match. You can see, and the public is behind him now.
Yeah.
But he was starting to play like slice backhand to change the pace. I mean, very smart. I'm impressed at the way he just managed to come back.
He does have that swagger about him, Fabio Fognini. And we must cross back to Eli, because Eli, you're in a fantastic position and need to know what the atmosphere is like on Philippe Chatrier at the moment.
Crazy atmosphere, Gigi. It was an amazing tiebreaker. There were only 2 unforced errors in that tiebreaker. The rest was only winners. A very, very high level from both players at the same time, which is always nice to see. The crowd is loving it. The crowd is not moving. They want more. The sun, I mean, there's still light, probably a little bit over an hour to play. So I think this match could well go to the end, hopefully, because this is Roland-Garros. This is why you stay in the evening and you watch till the end. This is awesome.
Keep you up to date on that fifth set while we are on air. When we're off air, you can follow the results on Twitter, RolandGarros.com. You can listen to commentary, ball-by-ball commentary on Radio Roland Garros. But right now, I'm delighted to say that we welcome into the studio someone who knows what it's like to win this tournament, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Arantxa Sanchez, welcome to the studio. The first thing you said was, look at that little baby face there.
Well, it's been a long time since, I see those memories back to me. But, yeah, I was a baby, only 17 years old. And, yeah, it's nice to see that it's match again. Yeah.
You've been coming here for so many years. You've got so many wonderful memories. Is there something, I don't know, when you come back to Paris, is there somewhere you visit or somewhere you stay or something you have to do that you've done every year?
Well, first of all, for me, it's like coming back home, actually, because it's my second home. I've been here, so many years, and I have so many good friends and so many places to visit still, even for coming,
And you
for
speak
so
French
many.
now.
And I speak French, so I learned French, even when I speak a little bit, even when that year after I won, so people really like it.
Oh,
and,
good.
So it's just to getting practicing for me to speak French after, but it's like be home, and it's a very special place on my heart, and always been and always will be.
Okay, Arantxa, 1989, you're 17. You beat Steffi. You come back from 5-3 down in the third to win that match in the final. How much did life change after that victory? Because you were only 17.
Well, definitely. I mean, first of all, I didn't expect to win that match. I have to admit it, and completely changed my life. I mean, I know the whole country was after, looking that match and supporting me all the way, and definitely everybody stopped eating, stopped having the exams, stopped just watching the TV, for that final. So just a 70-year-old, girl and a woman just being in front of all the covers in a country that is so many people, in the sport mostly was men, was amazing. But I have nothing to lose. I just think that I thought, okay, just give your best and try to, play well. And playing the best player in that history was Steffi Graf. And just starting the match, so close and getting, to win the first set and then losing the second, come back in the third. And all I remember is, like when I heard game set in Matt Sanchez, just start crying like a baby. I mean, the racket was on the air. I was rolling on the clay. I just trying, crying. I hugged Steffi. Then I look at my box, for my family, my friends, the crowd, and just couldn't stop, crying like a baby. But the emotions, the dream come true to win the French Open, to be able to have the trophy. I always watched it on TV when I was a kid. So a lot of emotions. And until I didn't have the big trophy on my hands, I could not believe it. And,
Right.
and then I said,
Right.
okay, now I did it. And then I was just, didn't want to take the trophy away from me.
Can you remember, Asa, on match points, how
Yes.
did you deal with pressure? Because at 17, your match point, you're saying that you just realize it after having the trophy. But
Yes.
what did you think about something in the match point or nothing? How did you deal with pressure at this age?
Well, I think that I try not. I mean, to play every point like it will be the last one. Definitely, I know that the crowd helped me so much because be the underdog is always the crowd wants to have a good final. I mean, they thought the match was going to be fast because the year before Steffi killed someone who was number ranked 5 in the world.
Yeah.
0-0 like in 35 minutes. So they came to play 70-year-old Spanish player. She didn't lose a match for 2.5 years. So people think, okay, maybe the match is going to be fast, and suddenly. It was the opposite because everything was so close and so good match, and I think one of the best matches probably that when you watch play on clay, and I just have nothing to lose. I just think, okay, play point by point, and obviously I thought, okay, put the first serve in. That's for sure. That's what I thought, but I was shaking inside of me. I said, okay, just play and move the ball and try to let her away from position. She doesn't hit her forehand because that was when she was more dangerous.
Yeah.
And just, I may remember I put the serve. She returned with the backhand to my backhand. I hit again into the back to her backhand, and she missed the slice backhand,
Backhand
and
into
then
the
it was
net.
over. So I was glad I didn't have to play a long rally, and it was over. But,
But you were on tactic, so
I
that's
yes, because
a very
I-
good advice, to maybe young players to deal with pressure. That's why,
I think
I
that
like
you-
to have Arantxa to get some advice.
well, I think the best advice you can get is just, if you try your best and you try to always be positive attitude and to have the passion, good attitude, good personality, and try your best, I think everything it can be easier, right? Definitely after you just have to try to play every point. I think in tennis, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? And especially on clay, you have longer rallies, longer, games, and everything is much longer. So definitely be patient, concentrate, but give your best and fight as best as you can. And that was maybe my sign, that I always fight until the end. I never give up. And then I always try to listen to any advice they gave me to be able to put it on the court. And I think that's something that when you are young, it's very important to listen and try to have, respect for the others as well, but always give your best. And if you do that, things can get easier.
I'm trying to teach my children that now, but they're still a little bit young.
We all
It's good
That
advice.
helped me. I hope that helps the other.
Now, knowing that you were coming in, and I remember last year when you came on, you said, look, everything on clay is completely different to anything else. And from someone who won it here when they were 17, we're now dealing with Rafa Nadal, who's won the title here 10 times. We wanted to talk about the evolution of clay court tennis and how things have changed from when you were playing. And I'd like to start this part, but just have a listen to Rafa Nadal. He spoke to us a little bit earlier about how he feels and if he feels he's had to change his game.
Everybody changes a little bit tennis, no? And you need to adapt, and you need to add things because you lose things in your way. So you need to include new things in your tennis. No, I think it's something that I did during all my career, and that's why I still here around and being competitive.
He definitely is still here. Arantxa, what changes from the outside have you seen from when you were here as a 17-year-old to now in 2018 in terms of how it's played?
Well, definitely it's a different generation. I think that is always, everything is improving, especially also the equipment, the rackets, and everything makes everything, completely different. But as Rafa say, you have to always, get better. You need to, to still improve things. You need to still better player. You need to compete better. You need to, to be able to adapt yourself, for the surface, for the conditions. And as long as you have the passion and the attitude, I think everything is easier. And he is probably the best example ever that still winning 10 times here, you still have the passion for it and go for it,
What's the hardest thing about playing on clay?
Well, the hardest thing is that, you have to be, without patience is more difficult, but also you need to mentally try to play the points 2 times rather than 1 time because the rallies are longer, right? And then it gives you a chance to, when you think the point, you win the point, you can, have to win it for the second time, right? So it makes everything a little bit different. And the balls, it depends on the condition. It can be lighter, but also if it's heavy with the rain, it can be much, like heavier. So it's slower, and you just have to prepare for all the situations. And but that's beauty of the clay. I think that it makes everything more, to a little more equal, because it's not only depending, on the game, but also it depends more on the mind.
Yeah.
And being humble.
Yes,
as
correct.
well,
Yes,
I believe.
Yes, I think it's also important. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so as both your careers went and you played through generations, now we have much more of a power game in tennis. I mean, you were around, you had great success at all the slams, but you had a true all-court, clay court game. Is there any room left for a true clay courter anymore in today's game?
Well, I think obviously I was a clay court specialist, but I didn't have to be clay court specialist, because to be number one of my generation, you have to be playing, very well in all the other surfaces. I think that there was more tournaments on hard courts than there was on clay on my time too. So I have to adapt myself to. I have to be more. I was very good defensive, but I have to be attacker. And I need to be aggressive. I take different coaches to help me to improve my serve, my volley, to adapt that on my game, and I can be defensive. I can be aggressive, but I have a lot of variety. I think that my variety makes the players not happy, because I can play, spin. I can play flat. I can play, slice. I can play drop shot. That I was killing them with the drop shots, winning a lot of points. So I can be going to the net, stay back, and I think that that's something that it's important. When one game we was not, doing well for me, I can have plan B to be able to play, another game, and also to make them hurt, where it's the best for the others. And definitely, I think clay. Obviously, I feel more comfortable because I grow play on clay. But at the same time, I love to play in the other surface, because I think that there are also points and spectaculars where you can also hit winners that maybe on clay you have to do it, 2 times.
I want to bring in at this point Rafa Nadal's coach, Carlos Moyen. He's been speaking to us to sort of join in this discussion about the evolution of the player on clay.
I don't know if it evolved, but it's different for sure. Before, also the materials right now are much better, and all the players are bigger, stronger. The evolution of not only on clay but in any surface is about being more aggressive, hitting the ball hard, try to finish points at the net. So yeah, that's how it goes.
And Camille, we're seeing this new breed, especially in the men's game, of these big guys. They look like they've been grown in something, because they're kind of 6'6" and they're upwards, and they're starting to have some success, more success on the clay.
Yeah, as we say, the game on clay is more aggressive. The guys are more willing to go to the net and to just build the game to go forward. And sometimes they are back, 2 meters just to defend, but then they try to get closer to take the ball early, to step into the court. And that's why the game is more aggressive. The clay here is quite fast. I don't know, Aranza knows because she played more matches on this clay, but so it allows big servers or some just players very aggressive to compete there and to be good. And I think now all the players are trying to do the same. Okay, I have to go to the ball and step into the court, even if I'm on clay. Maybe, as you said, it could be at the third ball or the fourth one. On hard court, it would be the first or second, but the way they're playing is going to be exactly the same.
And again, an important part of all this, we look at John Isner. He got to semi-finals in Rome last year, and he said that he'd booked a sightseeing tour because he didn't think he'd get anywhere near the semi-finals. But he said he started to believe that he could. And people talk about Rafa Nadal not fighting the clay, and because he completely gives himself to the clay, there's no battle with the surface.
Well, I think it's all on the mind as well, right? But definitely, it is true that everything, because of the conditions of the balls and the rackets and everything, much faster, and you have to adapt your game more. And probably, before the rallies were longer, but now it's shorter because of the power and all that, and only even a player who only have the serve, it can be dangerous because, as we say, the courts are faster, and you need to adapt, and maybe, with 2-3 shots, it's over, right? So it's all in the mind, but definitely, any player, even, Isner, maybe he didn't thought, and now he's playing well, and he's winning so many matches, and then probably, it's all probably, mental game.
And for someone like Simona Halep, when we talk about Kiki Burton, the movement of these players, that's so important on the clay.
Well, because on clay, it's, probably you need to learn how to slide, right? When you make the purple slide, it makes it easier to be able to hit the shots. And obviously, if you're European, you play on clay, you do that more often, right? When maybe the other people that play more on hardcore, they're a little bit more, afraid to do that slide, right? But once you get to know a little bit more how to do it, it makes easier and more natural, for everyone. But yeah, and probably you need more practice on that surface to be able to have more confidence to do it.
But then when we look at a player like Garbiñe Muguruza and the fact that she's won a Wimbledon title and a Roland-Garros title, is she playing different kind of tennis on grass versus red clay?
No, I just think that she is very powerful, and her serve is really a big weapon. So on grass now it's not as fast as it used to be. With my generation, I think that now it's much more slower. So it gives you also more time to even play from the back of the court, and so it's easier. But Muguruza has always play well, mostly on the Grand Slams, and she won Wimbledon, she won the French, and I think she's a big contender to win this year here. And her game fits well because of her serve and her ground strokes, because she has the power of today's game on the women's side.
And just to remind you that Garbiñe Muguruza only played 2 games of her round of 16 match because Lesia Tsurenko turned her ankle. So Muguruza will go through to face Maria Sharapova, who also didn't play today because the big news today, Serena Williams withdrew from the tournament with a pec muscle injury. Now there is one spot left to be filled. Juan Martín del Potro wants to know, Eli, who he's going to be facing in the quarterfinals. How's it looking?
Well, for the moment, he's going to be facing Fabio Fognini or Marin Cilic. We're still on serve, but I can tell you, Gigi, this is definitely Fabio Fognini time here in this 5th set. He is the one who is dictating the way, the timing of play. Even when he's on the return of serve, he's taking his time, walking around, forcing Cilic to wait. Cilic is ready to serve. Both players are not letting anything go. Fognini is having Carlos Ramos, chair umpire, get off his chair every I'm going to exaggerate, but every 10 seconds, checking every mark. He is definitely putting his touch on this 5th set. We'll see. Right now we're on serve, and they're both really, really, really playing very high-level tennis. There's a lot of tension. This is the last match on court here in Roland-Garros. People are trying to get in. They can't because they don't have the tickets. But this is the place to be, and this is where I am.
That's where you're staying, and you've got the best seat in the house. Eli is going nowhere. Juan Martín del Potro awaits who he will face. We have for you the order of play for tomorrow. We're getting stuck into the quarterfinals. Arantxa, at the start of this, I remember last year you came in and maybe day 2 or day 3, you said maybe 5 women can win it. This year, people have been talking about 10 or 15 women could have possibly won this title. We're getting down in numbers. Would you have envisaged that Sloane Stephens, Daria Kasatkina and Yulia Putintseva and Madison Keys would have been in there?
Not really. No. But always, it's always a surprise in a Grand Slam. So
yes,
it's always a new names coming up. But I am not surprised because I think that, as I say, like Stevens and Keys are great players. They've been always playing well on hard court. I just think that we're more on the mind that as well, that they can play well on clay. Once they start winning more matches, they believe more, and then now they adapt the situations because of this course and the ball fits their games, and they're there. So I'm not surprised at the same time, but yeah, maybe we're not the ones to pick, to win the title, but who never knows? I just think that, I did my prediction already, before the tournament started. And,
so who did you go for?
I would pick Muguruza before the tournament.
I should have guessed that. Why did I ask the question
You're
to
on
a
Team
Swedish
Muguruza
lady?
now.
I know, even before the tournament. So I kind of like, everybody says Halep, everybody, was thinking maybe Serena, maybe, Wozniacki.
I said Kvitova.
You say, so there's a lot of, as you say, there was maybe 10 names of women that can win, but I thought that because, I've seen how, Muguruza is been playing, and but I know in the Grand Slam, maybe the years didn't been so consistently, but on Grand Slam, she always play, the way that her best, and I think that that's something that is important to when you come to a Grand Slam, because you have to win 7 matches. It's 2 weeks of period, and she already has experience. She has no pressure because I think probably people were not talking so much about her these 2 weeks. That relaxed her. She can play better. She can has the game to do it, and she did it once, so it's not that surprising. And I'm happy because still going, and hopefully it will go all the way. We'll have 2 winners in men's and women's Spanish. That
would be a good double.
That would be a good double because that's what I picked the first before the tournament. So hopefully it will happen.
All right, that's the perfect place to end this. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're
Enjoy
welcome.
the rest of the tournament.
I will. Thank you so much.
And Nick, I'll be back with you again tomorrow night.
Thank you.
7 p.m. local time. We're with you every night. A cracking order of play as you saw tomorrow. So come rain or shine, we will be with you, keeping you up to date with everything that's going on. To find out what happens with Cilic against Fognini, Roland-Garros.com, or tune into Radio Roland-Garros now for live ball-by-ball commentary. And use the hashtag RG18 if you'd like to get in touch with us. Have a wonderful Monday evening wherever you are, and we will see you the same time tomorrow night.